to all my pro gamer friends. This is Dead here. Welcome to my Dead podcast. And today we are going to be talking all about Dead by Daylight, the new chapter, the new update with bots and all that, and about having a playing. Now, I wanted to give a huge shout out and thank you to Widow, for the brother, the homie, for this idea. Go watch his video on his channel, his most recent video of him playing Dead by Daylight with bots and stuff. We get his point of view about how he feels about the upcoming update here and stuff. I've been playing this game since launch, and as you can see, I'm almost player level 500. I would have been higher if they had this back then, but I've also watched like famous YouTubers who've played it back on the public test build, like Delirious, Cartoons, Bryson, Vanos, and more play this game. And one thing that really caught my interest in this game was not only the fact that you could play as a survivor like any other horror game you play as, but I also liked that you can play as the killer and kind of be like somewhat of the main antagonist yourself in this. Now I know it's player versus player, but I still kind of I do like the concept of the game. And when I very first started playing this game, I did not know how to juke or do anything that I know right now. And like Widow said in his video, I have every single survivor and killer. I have always bought all of the chapters full set, so I have all the maps, like I said, survivor and killer. And I play for survivors. Back then I played a good majority of Jake, but eventually I kind of played as all the somewhat OGs here on the channel would know, as Toxic, Nia, or in this case Nia, and some other mains that I play besides from her, or Bill, or as I like to call him, Grandpa Bill, and Jill. There's a few others that I'm still kind of debating if I'm going to have them. I do very occasionally, very rarely, go back to my old main Jake. And for killers, before Legion came out, which by the way I am a Legion main along with Nemesis, Wesker, but before all of them, I feel like back then I was mostly playing as the Shape, or for all those who should know him as Michael Myers. I also played Reef, Trapper and Huntress, Doctor, and Hag. The only killer I've even played as Leatherface and the Pig and whatever. The killer that I played the least of is the Nurse. Although, geez, know why I don't play as her, and why I don't like her, and I think she's one of the worst killers, actually the worst killer in the game. And and for otherwise, besides from that wise, I do play both sides, so I do understand like Widows and Brandy's and Crimson's idea, like when we do play sometimes public, and I know what it's like to get tunneled, really, camped and all that other stuff, which doesn't feel good. And I know a lot of people have also been asking to, like, why haven't I been like uploading as much Dead by Daylight content? And the reason is that not because I'm burnt out on it, just from like it as a game whole. It really has to do with like the community and the players itself. For example, a lot of people like to be toxic whether or not if I'm playing as the killer or survivor. And not only that, but I have been getting like very, as they would say, inappropriate and sometimes, threatening or wish to harm on me from other players. Like one person even told me to go kill myself, and just very hateful stuff and toxic. And with that, it's kind of that and how, the stuff is with, like, the lags and stuff. It can also be really draining, and it's kind of like made it where I've been taking like this very long break from playing the game. Like, yes, I do know I made a Dead by Daylight video for, you know, but besides from that, I haven't really played on the game besides from like when it comes to getting on to put codes in that are like 100 and something or whatever thousand blood points, or when I'm doing DBD sessions with the boys. And honestly, yeah, that's why I kind of been burnt out, and I am looking forward to the bots and the update, and I'll get to the reason why. But let's start off with the things that I know that are going to be in the update with the new chapter here. So the new visual for the breakable walls or breakable objects, I mean, it kind of looks the same, but it looks a little bit more better with graphics wise. So it looks a little bit more realistic and not like completely cartoonish, even though it's kind of, but it's DBD, so I don't expect it to be like, real life people look like graphics or stuff. The new visuals of like the palettes, I don't really know why we really need another updated look for the palettes, but it's whatever. I don't really mind, but I wouldn't have been really too worried about the looks for them. But now here comes the interesting visual of them all that I actually find very interesting. I did see images from several people, even someone who actually is like a FOG member who actually, works with like the Dead by Daylight team on not as much as the devs do, but the image from the new basement, that my personal opinion, I like it. I like how they added some spider webs and kind of made the entrance going down to the basement more eerie. And I know some people liked it lit up, and some people may not like that it's a little bit more darker. But I think it adds to that element of horror. And like Widow says, I'm a horror fanatic, and it's very rare to scare me in this game, or just let alone jump scare me, or even watch horror movies that do jump scare me. Very rarely ever happen. So yeah. And then the new chapter, Forged of, I've completely forgot what the last part was, Forged of Iron or something like that. Let's talk about the Survivor. The new Survivor look is, good and stuff. It kind of gives me off a certain person from a different thing vibe, but I think it's good. I think its perks are really good. As for the killer wise, the killer ability and stuff, whether or not if you all may hate it or may not, I actually think it's a lot more unique and stuff. And I think we need more killers that are kind of like the more uniqueness instead of like killers that everybody constantly goes around and says, oh, for example, for Ghostface, like he's pretty much like the Shape and the Pig put together, but like a more better version, with like being able to crouch down a lot faster and a little bit more sneaky and less noticeable than a tall guy with a white mask on his face is. Also, a thing too that I liked is like how this, I know we have had the twins that make it feel like a 2v4, but with this, with the night and stuff, and how you're able to have the guards that you summon break pallets, break gens and stuff, and even if it's just little things, gives you, I mean, not like a lot, but it gives you a lot more time to continue chases, to do them yourself, which I really like. And I know a lot of people say, the game is killer or survivor based. Honestly, it's a mixture between the two, because no matter what side I play, it always favors one or the other, so it's in both sides in its own weird, toxic way. But the killer's Mori is probably, I would say, is the best Mori in the game. It is definitely top tier, along with Nemesis, Hellraiser, and quite a few others. His perks too, along with like what Scourge too, which I find being, remarkable. Okay. From what I saw from a lot of like even famous YouTubers who played the public test build, is that it's indeed confirmed that there are going to be bots in custom games. So, but it's only going to be for killers, since bots are going to be only if you can only play as like a killer, and you can play as any killers you want with whatever perks, and along with Mori and all that stuff, which I think is nice. I know that right now they are currently still working on bots for like AIs for the killers, so that's going to be coming out eventually. So you can eventually, play as a survivor going up against whatever killer of your choice. The thing I cannot confirm though is if you can make a loadout for these bots, or if you could change their looks, or what kind of survivors. But if any of you do know, please let me know in the comments. Also, I know they're kind of, from what I've seen, it seems like the AI isn't like, they aren't like very, very bad. Like, it's not going to be, what I mean by very bad, I don't mean like, I mean like, they're not going to be like terrible. Like, they do know how to use palettes and kind of somewhat loop and stuff, and somewhat, I think I've seen one kind of do it, one AI do, or a bot do a 360 on an actual player who was playing as killer. I think that, honestly, I know that for me and Widow, that is definitely going to be something that is going to draw us back into Dead by Daylight and playing it more, which is very nice and awesome. And as you can all see, I have like 625,000 blood points and yada yada yada. And that's going to be for the night to come out whenever he is. I wasn't planning on buying the battle pass that is currently going on for Dead by Daylight, but the only reason why I did and got it all done was the fact that I saw that on every single row on the top white there were blood points, and that's how I got a good majority of all these blood points. And I feel like with bots, the plus side of bots being in custom now for when I play as killer is that if there's a new chapter that comes, I can actually more easily like show you like exactly kind of like what the killer power does, its perks and stuff like that, on a lot more easier scale than dealing with toxic survivors. And whenever they do the thing for the bots for the AIs for killers, I would be able to do the same thing, but for the survivor based thing. And I kind of feel like for future wise, I'm going to be going a lot more with like bots and customs than actual online, because I really don't feel like dealing with players, being, what they sent me for messages and stuff, and it's not good on me mentally to hear this stuff. And honestly, it really doesn't bother me at the same time too when they say it, but I honestly enjoy playing this game. Like when I'm playing it with the boys and stuff. But besides from that, besides from DBD, I have been working on a new like uploading schedule with like all my other channels, and so far I've been doing great at keeping it so far. I know it's only been like my first week, but I'm proud of myself for it. And not only that, also, I know that the boys and stuff have their own stuff that they, want to do and stuff, and so if we're not all playing together, or if I'm not in a party with mostly Widow, then I am mostly... okay, I don't really have my job stuff to worry about until weekends. So for the good most part, I'm either watching YouTube, or if there really isn't something on YouTube on that's going, then I'm either going to the store and getting stuff, you know, like food, clothes, you know, whatever I need to get. But for the most part, and I haven't really done, I've been getting stuff ready too for like my Dungeons and Dragons sessions and stuff, trying to make sure, you know, it's as good as possible as it can be. And if I'm not doing that either, I'm just playing stuff out for the channels, and then when I do get free time, recently I have been, I know to Widow and to Randy and to Crimson and stuff, they've been wondering like maybe why I haven't been online as much, but that's because I did make another, just like not like I would say really necessarily like another account on PlayStation, but I have made like a guest one where I don't have, you know, online and stuff on it at all. But the reason why I made that one was just so, you know, I don't have to worry about ruining my progress or what spot I'm on, like during for a series on any of the games. It's an account that I can go to and just play whatever game freely without being like, oh, I have, you know, this progress and I don't want to ruin it or have a chance to do it. So it's more like my free time account in a way. So yeah, plus, you know, I know that Widow's probably going to be watching this, which, by the way, I appreciate everything, homie. And you know, if you're still down over to learn how to do building and stuff or whatever for Sims, I'm here whenever you feel. Again, and also, if the rest of the boys are watching this, you know, we all should get together to play a DBD session on the 22nd, which is, from what I checked the last time, on a Tuesday, so I won't have work that day, so it worked pretty easily and good for me, if that's all right with you all. But yeah, anyway, I think that's all I really have much to talk about, because besides from saying my favorite one killer trailer that I will say that holds a special place into my heart and stuff is Nemesis's trailer. It's not because I think it's like the best one of them, but it's just my favorite one because that's the only one that I know of so far where Meg absolutely gets fucking wrecked by Nemesis and dies. And you know, if you're a Meg main, I am not sorry for rooting for her demise, because she is one of the least likable survivors, along with the others that I'm not going to say right now. But yeah, anyway, that is my podcast here. I hope you all are having an amazing day, and if you're not, know that I'm glad that you're hearing that you stopped by and watch, and I appreciate you all. And I'll see you in the next one, and keep it real, my
nigga.